This is Sean Duffy for Sheen Procs on the Trinity Force Network, and I'm joined today by Eugene Pobelter Park. And how are you doing today, bud?
I'm doing all right.
Good. You guys just came off a great win against Team Liquid. It was really dicey. It looked like a classic CLG game. You guys were right there on the cusp, and then I had no idea what was going to happen. I thought you guys were going to pull a Dignitas and just throw a Baron, but you managed to really turn around. You pulled out APS, which I know has seen a pretty severe drop in SoloQ since the changes to Runeglaive. Do you think it's still just as strong as it always has been?
It's actually stronger this patch than it was last patch because they buffed Runeglaive as an item, and the only thing they nerfed was the Ludens proc, which wasn't that big of a deal because you can just go a different AP item now. Not to mention his build path is smoother. Usually the concern with AP Ezreal would be that you don't get enough farm for Rod because you get ganked and die or something like that, and then you're on a really low power spike for a little bit. But because Rod's cheaper now, because Runeglaive's buffed, the removal of Ludens procking on your Q isn't a very big deal now.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I forgot that change happened just now. How does it feel to finally pick up a win against a team who's now even with you, I think, on the standings, but was above you? This is something that CLG always struggles with and has really struggled with this season. How does it make you feel?
Well, I mean, it feels good. I think my excitement or contentness after winning them is less so than my teammates, because back on Winter Fox and even dating back to EG, we had a really great record against TL, and before that Curse, even though we were a bottom team. So I'm happy that I was able to help my teammates. But sorry, going back to your point about beating a team that's higher or equal than us, we don't really put too much importance in that. We just try and learn from every game that we win or that we lose, whether they're a higher team or a lower team. So
you treat every game same way no matter what? Yeah,
because it just all goes back to the games being best of ones, and then that decides your fate in the season to a little bit, but of course playoffs are everything.
So are you guys already looking ahead? You've got one more week of just regular season games. Playoffs are coming up. You'll probably have one more major patch change between now and playoffs. Are you guys already pulling together strats looking at that? Or are you just looking to scout out the teams that you think you'll probably be up against? Do you guys have any specific plans about that?
I don't think I'm really at liberty to say what we're planning or what we're not planning, so I'll have to pass on that question. So.
Okay. Let's see. One thing that I really enjoyed about the game was one of the ways that CLG often dominates a team. This usually comes against lesser teams, but it's happened last split, especially against Liquid, Curse. You guys tend to out-rotate. Your macro games just look so much better than the other team. You're in the places that they're not. You're 2 steps ahead of them wherever you're going. This was a relatively low-kill game. I think Double Lift ended with 3-0-1, and I actually don't remember your scoreline, unfortunately. But you guys actually do really well when you have a low-kill game. Was that something, were you looking to not pick up too many kills? Were you guys just looking to play the map? Was that the number one concern for you guys?
Just based on team comp difference, we knew that if we just sat back and poked with me on Ezreal, then we'd pretty much win the game, because they had no way to engage on me with such a low CC, low range team comp. The only thing that could really get me was the Hecarim flank TP, and I actually ended up not doing very well this game, and I just kept getting one shot by Victor and then finished off by Hecarim. So there were a few flubs this game. Definitely if I had played more safe, the game would have been much cleaner. But yeah, we just recognized that our comp was just better than theirs, so we just played safe.
Okay, so you guys just played to the better win conditions like everyone likes to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. And this one might be a question you can't really talk too much about, but how has team environment improved? Because that's one concern that CLG always has. And I know you haven't been around for the splits upon splits upon splits of people, stuff just going on with Blurred Limes, and everyone's seen now your mansion, your compound that you guys live in. What's it like living with 16 of your closest friends, or not even closest friends? Is it really bringing you guys together if as you all injure your hands individually on the basketball hoop? Or
to be honest, I don't see much of the CSGO team that much, or recently at least. They've been out of the country for 2 weeks because they attended some land in Europe, and ESWC in Quebec. So they haven't been around a while. And besides that, they just practice pretty far from us in the house, and I don't get to see much of them. So really, it's just like the same as before they moved in. In terms of how it is, I'm not really sure I can explain. Like, sometimes it's really cool because, you're just always joking around with your friends. And, I don't know, sometimes it can get frustrating if you're annoyed at someone or something like that.
Just like, living it's like living with a whole bunch of your friends, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're going to get on your nerves. Absolutely. So one thing that the Trinity Force Networks likes to focus on, like I said before, was ways to improve as a player. And obviously you guys are pretty much at the top, at least here in NA. And you said even that you feel that you have some improvement on this game. You got caught a couple of times, or Victor was able to figure out exactly what your pathing was with his E. Do you have any suggestions, particularly maybe about the matchup? Is that a good matchup for an APS? Is it a rough one? It didn't seem to be terrible unless the Victor was able to just predict every movement and hit you with E.
Yeah, so my big mistake was Victor had the core upgrade, which gives him the move speed on the Q, so pretty standard. And I just pretty much got too close without having my tank line in front of me, like every single time that I died. So the first time I died was around Dragon. I was split off from my team, and what I should have done was call my team to back off and then just walk around the pit, regroup with them. But what I tried to do was just like walk straight through the river, and I just like died, and it was just like an awful death. It was like, what am I doing? The second death, it was also actually a pretty big mistake. I knew that Rek'Sai was going to flash on me, but I just like didn't flash, so I ended up dying there. And then the third game, Victor just like caught up to me with his Q speed. E ulted me, and then Hecarim TP'd ulted me, and I died. So yeah, basically on AP Ezreal, just don't die, and you'll win the game. Yeah.
Okay, so you just sit back, let everyone else soak everything. You kind of just run in as the hero at the end.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. See if I have any other questions for you. One more. One thing that I've noticed you guys did exceptionally well this game was your wave control. The way you guys were able to just keep Quas completely down, the way Doublelift was able to keep up and farm, and you guys all funneled the rest of it into either you, if you can sit mid lane and just pot shot with the Q, or Zion up top, who I think at some point was ahead by almost 70 to 80 CS. Is wave control something that you guys have focused a lot on practice? Because I've noticed that's something people say Faker's big thing is that he can control a wave unlike anyone else. Is this something you guys have focused on, or is it still kind of an secondary thing, or is it a really, really important thing for you guys?
It's a priority for us just as any other team. I wouldn't say we place like the utmost priority on it. We just recognize that we could exploit the map because of how we were playing and how they were playing. And actually, I'm not involved in this at all. I'm just like sitting mid and queuing CS to farm.
That's true.
So yeah, it's just like a team effort from them four really to recognize that they can starve out the Hecarim. And then Darshan also all-in Hecarim when there was a big wave crashing into his turret. And even though that gave Victor a kill, Hecarim ended up missing a lot of CS from that. And I remember Darshan in comms, he just kept saying, "This guy is fucked." So yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And this has been Sean with Sheen Procs on the Trinity Force Network.